All right. Thank you for visiting Lobster Claws Recovery. We are going to take a look at the sharks of Florida. We're going to split up the state roughly, sort of like from the Georgia border down to about maybe Vero Beach, and then Vero Beach south to the Keys. So the only thing that really separates out the two are that there's a lot more surfing up north. Interactions with sharks up north are more likely to include people who are surfing as opposed to down here in South Florida where you don't have a lot of surfing because you just don't have the wave action. So, question is, what kind of species do you find in Florida? You find a lot of species. Let's just look at it. But overall, it's bull sharks, black tips, tiger sharks, lemon sharks, bonnet head sharks, an occasional great white. There's hammerheads. All right. You've got sandbar sharks, black tip sharks. Here's a scalloped hammerhead. You can see the scallops. They on the menu for them. One of their favorites actually is stingrays. They like stingrays. This shark is the most abundant. This is the lemon shark. You find them in inland shallow waters, shallow flats, shallow reefs, like this. Sandbar sharks, just like it sounds. I mean, you don't have to get bit by a great white for the shark to do damage to you, But even a lowly lemon shark can weigh as much as 500 pounds. Do you really want to, get it? You really want to risk it for a lemon shark? Makos, very aggressive, but tend to be offshore. I don't know if you can see this, but over 40 miles per hour. They go after the fastest fish in the ocean. They get very big and very heavy, and they got quite a mouthful of teeth. Black tips you can find, like I say, you can find them anywhere. There's just quite a variety. Some of these are less, you don't see them as much, less prevalent. I think your biggest concern, if you want to call it that, would be tigers and bull sharks. Bull sharks actually the worst. Bull sharks are one of the world's worst. In the trio is tigers, bulls, and great whites. It just depends on who you run into. Interactions with sharks in North Florida include surf fishing, surfing, recreational swimming, and it's not just North Florida. Recreational swimming and skin diving, scuba diving, spearfishing activities, fishing activities, fishing pier activities, and more. Okay, if I didn't say scuba diving, also scuba diving. In northern Florida, the only thing that separates that from South Florida is what I said, which is the surfing. And with surfers splashing and carrying on in the water and trying to get out to catch the next wave, they risk. They risk a lot. To a shark, you sound like a wounded fish, kicking and splashing. So if you got to surf, you better really minimize that. Although it's impossible to know what's below you. Often surfers are in 20 feet of water, and so I don't know. It's not something I would do. Regardless of where you are, whether it's in Florida or anywhere on Earth, never swim where people are fishing. Never think sharks are your friend or they can be the butt of jokes because they don't take jokes well and you're more likely to end up as lunch. than anything else happening, and it does. People die all the time from stupid jackass behavior, such as screwing around with sharks. Gavin Naylor, who is the Florida director for shark research, wrote in an email to Shark Bites YouTube channel that fishing is an activity that draws sharks in. We therefore consider it a provoked activity for our purposes. Any factor that draws sharks to an area, fishing, chumming, scalping, etc., or behavior that goes to the shark, such as riding them, petting them, feeding them, you might be surprised at what people do, are thought to induce behaviors that are not typical. Most people can draw these conclusions and never do such stupid behavior, but there are those who think beyond retribution, and those are the ones that end up on the shark's menu. So Darwin's theory of natural selection, I guess, huh? In South Florida, you find basically the same sharks. You got a lot of people in the water, just like up north. A great white's always a possibility, but typically offshore in the process of migrating north to south or south to north. As a general statement, regardless of where you are on the planet, never dive into murky water. Clear water is your friend. Diving after a storm, for example, when the waters are murky, is asking for trouble, and the sharks can always see better than you in the water. Know that sharks will never hesitate to come in to shallow water. And as long as they can fit their bodies into the water's column, they will do it. They are looking for marine life, typically not you. Nevertheless, they might run into you, so be prepared as much as you can, always. Let's see. This is a bull shark. You got a real stout-looking head, okay? And bull shark behavior tends to be really sort of in your face. They're very aggressive. They don't shy away at all. Scaring them off is not likely to happen. They're more likely to come back and be enticed than intimidated. Of course, here you got a great white. That's a very nice example of a smaller great white. Say great white, not a great white. It's a tiger. Believe it or not, tigers will hang around fishing piers. I've seen video where they hang around fishing piers. They are there because there's a ton of bait fish there. And they may wait for somebody fishing to wound a fish to attack that fish, to make it easy on them. So I got to assure you they're around piers, especially towards the north. Sharks always appear out of nowhere. This goes back to the murky water. Sometimes they will bring a sharky friend to visit you. Okay? Let's see. Never splash because you appear to a shark as a wounded fish and therefore lunch or prey. Here you've got a hammerhead. This is a remora. They go along for the ride. A young cobia can look like a remora, but if you look carefully, remora's got a very flat head. If you look more carefully, these are like ridges on a diagonal on a remora's head that helps it stick to the shark's skin. The lemon shark. And so while we're looking at the lemon shark, let's just talk about never wear jewelry, never wear anything shiny, including gold, chrome, silver, platinum, stainless steel, or similar, or a shiny bathing suit like some women have. It may look fashionable, but from the shark's perspective, all you're doing is drawing that shark in, and you're risking your life and limb for fashion. For some women, it might be worth it. Be smart. A lot of colors will attract sharks. I can't speak exactly for what colors attract sharks the most. It's possible that yellow, sometimes known as yum yum yellow, will attract sharks. Hard to say. Bright fluorescent colors, because they stand out against the ocean's blue and green tones. Bright yellow and orange dye suit. more visible than black or blue or gray. You know, I'm not making this stuff up. I know you all think maybe this is a big joke and you can ignore this advice, but you avoid it you ignore it at your peril. You might end up being a 1-inch article in a newspaper in the obituaries, and that's where you end up because you don't learn from what other people are trying to tell you. So you see that they're attracted to contrasts, fluorescent colors. See, yellow, see, yellow, white, as opposed to those wearing gray or black. So there you go. Red is another one. What are you doing? You know, and here you got these idiot people that wetsuit designer, and they're showing bright fluorescent colors. No. These people are trying to make money. They don't care if you're dead a month later. You've already paid them. And you're laughing right now, but it's for real. And that includes even bright, like there's a lot of swim fins out there that are bright colors. You know, if you want to be differentiated underwater, and if you want your friends to know who you are by your swim fins, you can draw an image of a shark on the bottom of your fins, or put your bloody name on the bottom of the fins. You know, but you don't have to wear red fins. If you do find that a shark has found an interest in you, you need to stand your ground, never swim away or try to swim off or something like this. Sharks are always faster than you. You're going to lose every time. All right. You need to sort of look big, like the same as you would with like a grizzly bear or something like this, or a black bear, right? And worst case, you can kick them off with a swim fin or a metal detector. You could also even try with a bang stick that typically have 12 gauge slugs in them, or 357 Magnum rounds, and that will be very effective against sharks. But if you use a bang stick, or you jab a shark and you end up killing it, and it starts bleeding in the water, you can end up with a lot more sharky friends coming in out of curiosity, and they will, because sharks will eat other sharks, including sharks in distress. So if you do this, you better get out of the water quick. So in a dive knife, the dive knife used, for a lot of people have dive knives. Probably more people have scissors, or they've got some kind of tool to cut fishing line, as opposed to a 1970s era 8-inch long pointy Daycore dive knife in stainless steel. Okay, nice pointy dive knife. That you're not. It usually doesn't work. You can even hit the shark with the butt of the knife. Your whole idea is to, spook them off. And they don't like being hit in the nose. If you have to, you can put your hand on their top of their head, between their eyes, and maintain your hand contact down their body as they swim off. And you may have to repeatedly do this until they lose interest. This could be 3, 4, 5 times. You don't know, but the whole goal is to get the shark to go elsewhere. A few quick stories about people who just don't learn. There's one story about a guy down in Panama City in Florida near Tallahassee. This village idiot, and definitely a village idiot, decided he's got to go fishing in the water with his rod, cuts up a bunch of mullet, which is a bait fish, and sticks it in his pocket, gets in the water. Well, up strolls a bull shark, smells the mullet. What do you think the bull shark does? It bites the guy on the leg and takes a chunk of his leg out, right where the guy had the mullet in his pocket. What do you expect? So the next one is about people feeding marine life in the water, and the outcome of that. So you got a woman feeding squid to turtles in the Abacos Islands. She's with her friends. It doesn't matter how many people are with. Sharks are not shy. They're going to come whether there's one person or 5 people. They're still going to come. So in this case, she attracted in a nurse shark who thought because it smelled the squid in the water, it thought she was the squid and tried to suck her in and gave her a 4-inch diameter giant hickey on her leg and a bunch of puncture marks from its needle sharp in-pointed teeth that it uses. And the way it feeds is that it creates a strong negative pressure and it sucks prey in. So this is the whole thing about the hickey. So it sounds funny, but if you were to see it, it's really, really nasty. Probably 4 or 5 inches in diameter. I saw it. It was pretty ghastly looking. I've seen way worse. I've seen humans missing their entire side of their torso. Yes, they're dead. But yeah, this is something way more minor. Let's see what else we could talk about. Now, the thing that is most dangerous that you could be doing is, let's see. Yes. Okay, so this involves people who like to go spearfishing. Now, I know a lot of people successfully do this, but I am warning you that there's no more dangerous activity you can conduct in the water than spearfishing. Okay? As it says here, it says spearfishing can have many risks, including overly inquisitive or aggressive sharks. Right? And then it talks about what sharks are in the environment. Sharks can get rushed by spearfishers, and they are just coming in on the vibrations in the blood of the spearfish. Now, in the story of these several guys that were spearfishing off a boat, also down in the Bahamas, I do believe near the Abacus Islands, one speared a fish near Coral Head, and his friend was like 30, 40 feet away on the bottom, and suddenly found himself, specifically his head, inside the mouth, I believe, of a Caribbean reef shark. The shark clamped down on his head. The guy was wearing like a light blue, a light blue, not only wetsuit, but he had a light blue hood on his head. And so the shark thought he was the wounded fish that he had felt. You know? You don't necessarily have to be the one attacked. Somebody you're diving with can get attacked too. You risk them as well as yourselves. These are real stories. I have seen it happen. I have witnessed it. I'm telling you, it's not pretty. And if it's you whose head is in the shark's mouth, it'll be less pretty. So is it really worth spearing fish for? If you're going after dinner, I understand. I understand if this is basically to feed your family, but if you're doing this as a sport, you're risking your life for nothing. Of course, there's many stories of great whites. Here, let's just look it up. So we've got. So we're going to get into the other half of this, or the other piece of it. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. We're just going to talk a bit about great whites and surfers. But you can easily and effectively replace the word great white with bull shark. Okay? Here in Florida, it's going to be a bull shark as it relates to surfers. If it's California, it's going to be great white. Might be a tiger, probably great white. If it's the Hawaiian Islands, it's going to be probably a tiger shark, but it could be a great white. If it's Australia, it's going to be a great white, but it might be a bull shark. Straight up probability. It depends on these different species and their range and the probability you're going to encounter them. Great whites, depending on, I don't mean to be cute when I say this, but some of their behavior is learned behavior. Some of them, I would theorize that some of them understand that some beaches can represent food in the form of surfers. because they've learned it from their parents, the mother. You're not going to see. The sharks don't hang around the parents, but it can be learned behavior. This is strictly my opinion. I mean, like, sharks, they go, the shark will give birth to the pups, and then that's it, and then the pups stay in shallow water until they're big enough, and they can defend themselves in open ocean, and then they go into open ocean, but they're not really asking mom for anything. But I do theorize that sharks can learn from each other. I think anything's possible. I do believe that. I think the more I see, the more I realize that I don't know too much, because you think you know everything, but more than likely there's a lot of behaviors you don't even understand what you're looking at. So attacks in California, in southern Australia by great whites are more common than you'd like to know. This one's 13 feet, so here you got basically about 4 meters, 4 meter great white. It's probably roughly about 4 meters and up that end up being the man eaters, and I do mean eaters. This particular man, he was 55 years old, and he was singled out of a group of a dozen surfers, and we're going to look at that. We're going to listen to a bit of it.
Locating the 55-year-old's next of kin, I'm told they have been notified about this.
State's west coast, where a surfer's been mauled to death in front of a dozen witnesses. 7 News has obtained video of the moment a heroic jet skier raced into the water to search for the victim, only to find himself circled by the monster great white.
We're talking about a guy going in.
A 4-metre beast mere moments after snatching the life of a local surfer.
He is a monster.
And by all accounts, the attack was swift and savage. In the blink of an eye, the great white picked the 55-year-old victim out of a group of a dozen surfers at Granite Rock near Streaky Bay. Witnesses say he never stood a chance.
Attacked him from the side, and he went under once and came up again and went under again, and that was the last that lad saw of him as he scrambled for the rocks.
Veteran surfer Jeff Schmucker arrived at the scene within 60 seconds of the attack and jumped straight on his jet ski to search for the victim, only to come face to face with the massive predator.
The big fish. You bastard. Just come back out here and I've seen the shark, but there's no sign of any person. We picked up the damaged surfboard.
A bite-sized hole missing from its side and just 6 inches of leg rope still attached. As emergency crews raced to the popular surfing spot south of Streaky just after 10 a.m, traumatised beachgoers sat in shock. Many witnessed the attack from nearby rocks. Others had been in the water, including a paramedic paddling just metres away. Jeff is doubtful they'll ever find the victim.
There was absolutely nothing. It was a eerie silence, I guess, and people walking slowly on the rocks.
It's the third attack in South Australian waters this year, the second fatal one. In May, school teacher Simon Bacanello died at Elliston, also on Eyre Peninsula. And earlier this month, Beachport grandma Pam...
See this? So the shark had her leg completely in his mouth. I don't know why she still has that leg, but I would theorize that she didn't move. If she had struggled, or the shark decided to flail her left or right and right to left, he would have tore all this chunk out. No problem. But she's going to have a scar to remember, but as it stands, I mean, I don't know what her muscle damage is underneath, but she still has her leg.
Cook survived being bitten by a juvenile great white, but there was no surviving today's attack. Elspeth Hussey, 7 News.
If there's more, they talk about that. They're still looking, this and that. What are they looking for? There's not much to find. There's nothing to find. You can easily replace, so here you can replace great white with bull shark. It's no problem. So here's basically a 5 meter, 15-foot great white. I heard of a story where the shark was 23 feet long. I mean, that's like, you know, eating a human is sort of like grabbing a chicken nugget, just one chicken nugget. I haven't seen this one. Let's look at this one. There's tons of them. Pretty face, huh? Yeah, it's for real. Same guy. Yeah, they make quite a story out of that guy. There's a 15-year-old young surfer dude. Yep, South Australia. Okay. Died from injuries at 15. Yeah, the only thing you can say is that he died doing what he loved, but you know, it's rough. You're setting yourself up. So that's it. Again, I think it's more likely the spearfishing is gonna do you in than surfing, although, you know, in South Florida, surfers do get attacked by bull sharks. So if you're just talking about Florida, it's for real. You know, I don't know how you avoid it. I really don't. It's rough. If it's not you're splashing, it could be the guy that's next to you splashing, and the shark goes after you anyway. All right. I hope this makes you think. It's not designed to keep you out of the water, but it is definitely designed to make you think. Don't forget to visit us again and check out our other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. If this gets a good review, then very well may put out more videos like it. I think there's opportunity for it. I don't see a whole lot of it. I'm very plain speaking. I don't play games with words. Life's too short for that. So, hope you guys get it. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.